everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Keep your questions coming in. It's Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. You can also call or text 949-415-6256. I'll get back to you in surprisingly a short amount of time. And even shorter now that I have my Apple Watch, which pings me on my wrist when someone texts me, and I can just reply like within 2 seconds and get back to you. So yes, it really is that easy. Don't be afraid to reach out, and then we can talk about anything you want. Like this person who sent me this question today, and we already had a teleconference, probably a 45-minute teleconference. Right? So I really get deep into these things with you guys. So let me get into it. It's about creating an SMO. So in short, it says, hey, we had a great year last year, but this year's not going well as budgets have gotten worse and there aren't as many relevant studies out there for us. So let me just comment on this. Budgets are getting worse, and this is like a side note, side rant. Budgets are getting worse because sites are opening up left and right and accepting any budget they're given. And sponsors are taking advantage of this, or CROs are taking advantage of this because they're for-profit companies for the most part, and they're interested in making profit. And if they can get sites to agree to lower budgets, they're going to do that 100 times out of 100. Now, that is especially true when study supply is low, which I've been just kind of hammering home to you guys. It's in all of our best interest to negotiate better budgets for our sites, not just so that we could be more profitable, but so that we can kind of change the standard in the industry, even when times are tough, like right now when there's relatively low supply of studies. Sponsors need to know that the sites are getting smart about negotiating the budgets, because not every study is worth taking on if you're not making money. As a matter of fact, if you're going to lose money on a study, it'd be extremely foolish and irresponsible for you to even take on that study. So if you don't know how to negotiate budgets, send them to me. I have a consulting firm that will do this, but I'll even negotiate it for you for free just to get the ball rolling, all right? So email me, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. That's a side rant, so let me continue. We are leaning in the direction of creating an SMO. We have the knowledge, experience, and access to capital that we need. My question to you is, where do I start? I know tons of doctors. Do I begin with them? My answer to you is yes, okay? Get as many doctors as you can. Here's what I would do. If you're in a big enough area, like let's say New York City or LA or South Florida or Chicago, if you're in a big enough market where you're not necessarily competing with yourself, and you have different specialists, so let's say you have a cardiologist here, a psychiatrist at this clinic, an oncologist here, all within like 20 miles of where you are, or extend it even further, all within like 60 or 70 miles of where you are, within driving distance from you, the site owner, okay, you can control that, and it'd be a great way to start learning on how to leverage your studies. Rather than just doing a bunch of studies at your site, you can now learn the power and unlock the power of leverage, which has made so many business people wealthy. Without leverage, all we're doing is trading our time for money. With leverage, we're trading our knowledge and expertise for money, and that's the end game. All right, that's how I plan to buy the Clippers. That's how you should plan to expand your empire. So start in your geographic area if you can, even if it's a small market. If you have one specialist at this office, another one at this office, another one at this office, different specialties, you can now take on any study that is out there, literally any study. And if you get a study where you don't have that specialist, you say you know tons of doctors, go out there and get that study also. All right, find that specialist, get that study. Never say no to a study again. I rarely turn down a study anymore, because one of my sites somewhere I know is going to take on any study that I get. The studies I do turn down are these phase 4 studies when we don't really need them, or they're more trouble than they're worth. But I only know that because I've been doing this for over 10 years, so I know which studies, I have a good idea for which studies are going to be worth doing and which ones aren't. But as far as not having the therapeutic expertise for it, I don't do that anymore. I take on every single study I get. Somebody somewhere is going to be interested in it, and I want it. I want them all, right? So if you have study leads you want to share with me, you know where to contact me, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I will reciprocate as well. So that's what I would do. Here's an example. Let's say you get an asthma study, okay? You do it at your main site with your PI. You take that same study and do it at another site under another doctor, and you do it again at another one if you can. So now you have 3 sites, all under your company name, doing the same study with 3 different PIs. So you're going to have 3 separate contracts, right? Because each PI needs to sign their contract. And now you have, instead of 1 revenue stream, you have 3. That's leverage. That's what you need to be doing. And if your site is struggling right now because in your particular therapeutic niche, like mine used to be just CNS, central nervous system, I'm so glad I diversified when I did 3 years ago, because there are very few CNS studies out there. And if I wouldn't have diversified, I'd be in serious trouble right now. But because I did, I can still be profitable, and I just leverage 1 study. If I get 1 study lead, I have like 20 sites I can do it at. Like realistically, 20 sites just like that. So that's where you need to be if you're really trying to build a clinical research empire, and maybe that's what I'll call this video. But in all seriousness, it's your responsibility, and you owe it to not only yourself and your partners, you owe it to your employees to be as profitable as you can and to stay in business, right? Their paychecks are depending on you. So you've got to be willing to make moves, business moves. If you know all these doctors, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting studies for all of them, even if it's the same study. If you have 20 sites and you only get 1 study, guess what? That's a big business right there, okay? And most sites should strive to get at least between 8 to 10 studies every year. So imagine if you leverage that, right? That's the power of leverage. Hopefully that helps. There's obviously a lot of details I'm leaving out because there's not enough time in the day. Things like training PIs when they don't have any experience, finding coordinators, recruiting, regulatory, creating source docs, sharing SOPs. So you can contact me for that. My consulting team can help you. But the short answer is it's possible, and it's a lot easier than you think. All right? Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Keep your questions coming in. Thank you very much, and make sure you subscribe, all right? Subscribe and like. Appreciate it. Take care.